I just wanted a successful movie in my yellow costume. Now all everyone can talk about is Robert Downey Jr. What do you want? Me just want cookie.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Caffeinated with Charlie William Parks. I am Charlie. That was Wolverine. Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom. This is wild. Welcome to episode 12. This is a fun-filled fat-fighting episode. It's a lot of F's, but the good kind. We got some special muscle-building stuff today for the ladies as well. I saw Deadpool last week. You probably did too. It was a great week. I'm excited to be here with y'all. So welcome to Caffeinated, where we talk all things health and wellness. We talk nutrition, we talk diet, workouts, supplements, all that fun stuff. We talk culture and the arts too, because your health is more than just what you see in the mirror, kid. It's how you feel, it's excitement, it's vigor for life, trying something new. So we talk about new cool stuff, deal with it. Because you don't have time to listen to 50 podcasts, you're busy, you're important, and is this even a podcast? It feels more like a creatine coffee and comics with Charlie to me. 4Cs. You angry kids are going to let me know in the DMs anyway, aren't you? And on today's show, we are talking mistakes during fat loss and my fat loss journey. I just went back into a fat loss or a cutting phase of dieting. I'm cutting hard. I'm giving you the top diet mistakes I see people make all the time when trying to lose fat. Cutting hard, huh? Sounds like a t-shirt. We're talking the best muscle building supplements for women. Long gone are the days of only glamorizing women who don't like to eat. Muscles are cool. Women like them too. We're going to tell you what supplements might just help you build them. In culture and the arts, I saw Deadpool versus Wolverine last week. It was fun. I'm going to talk about it. And lastly, in an extraordinary new segment called, well, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but Cooking with Charlie, Cuisine with Charlie, Charlie and the No, not that one. We're bringing it back to health and nutrition. We're leaving the studio. We're going to the kitchen studio. I'm putting on my big boy apron. I'm going to give you my recipe for the anti-inflammatory wellness shots from episode 2, but this time we're going to make them together step by step. I've gotten a ton of messages from you guys. Some of them are very nice. Some of them are not very nice. You guys want me to be doing these things in real time. I get it. I hear you. The people have been heard. So we had our big anti-inflammatory episode last week. These wellness shots go great with that. So we're going to do it together this week, guys. Come on down. All right. It's that time, guys. If you're OGC, you know. If you don't know, now you know. It's time for coffee of the day. This is a cool one, guys. Coffee of the day. Coffee of the day. All right, friends. Very hot here in New York. So we're going to continue to ice it. Going to mix it with electrolytes this week. Try and stay hydrated while I'm drinking this dehydrating drink. What are we drinking today, guys? I was talking about this guy last week because I am really excited to talk about this on the show. This is my favorite one so far. We've been doing partners. We've been featuring partners coffee roasters on the show the last 3 weeks. And this one is called Manhattan. Okay, these guys are based in Brooklyn. This is called Manhattan. And it is a darker roast. I love dark roasts. If you've heard me talk about coffee before on the show, we've got tasting notes of baker's chocolate, caramel, and maple syrup. This is really, really good. This is my favorite one I've tasted from them so far. It is the darkest, so I'm not kind of surprised. I'm going to buy more of this, I think, and just drink it. I might have to feature it again on the show because I may want to drink it again on the show. So website, partnerscoffee.com. Check them out if you haven't. And yeah, you might enjoy them. I hope you do. All right, guys. Let's start the show. Mistakes during fat loss and during my journey, my fat loss phase. Hello, guys. Let's get right into it today. Mistakes people make during the fat loss phase of dieting. I use the word dieting as everything you're eating throughout your life on a given day, all through the year, not just when you're losing fat. I don't like diet just as a fat loss term. So if I use the word diet, it's kind of interchangeable. I don't mean just those few weeks you're trying to lose a couple of pounds. I mean, your diet is your diet all the time. These are mistakes I've made as well. I will surely not make them again. So why am I talking about this one today? Well, I teased it a little bit last episode. I just started a new fat loss phase of dieting, and I'm doing this in preparation for a photo shoot and a role. I'm an actor. Today, I'm trying to act entertaining, and I'm kind of trying to lower my body fat set point before going back into a maintenance phase, which is my favorite phase because I get to eat more. I was previously in maintenance, or kind of building muscle while eating at maintenance calories, for about 5 months. It was very successful. It was during the time that my baby girl was born, so I kind of needed the extra calories to function, to not die, right, Al? And now I'm ready for the next dietary adventure. So here we are. Here's the first mistake people make when trying to lose fat. Number 1, they start a fat loss phase of their diet without planning a fat loss phase of their diet. Well, what the heck does that mean? That's a lot of the same words you kind of used, Charlie, and then you did it again. When we're trying to lose fat, and we, of course, are in a caloric deficit in order to do this, which means we're eating fewer calories than we're burning ideally, that fat loss phase will gradually become less effective as our diet goes on. Our metabolism slows, we have metabolic adaptation, our bodies burn less calories regardless when we're carrying less weight, and of course, diet fatigue sets in eventually as well. It's another real thing. That diet fatigue is as real as man, bear, pig, Al. Man, bear, pig is real. The idea is I want to be eating at maintenance initially, decide how long ideally my fat loss phase will be for, and then I may want to change back to maintenance calories, and who knows, you may want to build muscle after that. You may want to reverse diet. The world is your oyster. We're just kind of other fish around it, I guess. I don't know. That wasn't a great analogy. Now, you can always change your mind as you get deeper into the diet, but you want to at least have a plan. Example, I'm planning a little over 2 months of fat loss. Within those 2 months, only a little under 8 weeks of that time will be an actual fat loss phase of dieting where I'll be in a deficit. That means at the end of the 2 months, I can do my photo shoot, film, or whatever, and check in with myself. Do I wish to do this longer? Would I like to be leaner? How's that diet fatigue, right? You don't want that. All of those answers will let me know what I'm going to do next. My guess is I will go right back into maintenance and muscle building in October, but we'll see. It's okay not to know. Now, I also just mentioned I would only be in a deficit for a little under 8 weeks of the diet, but the diet's a little closer to 10 weeks. So what the heck am I doing with the other 2 weeks? Well, during the fat loss adventure, I have weddings to attend. I have friends visiting from out of town. I have Labor Day parties. I have all kinds of fun stuff going on. So here's mistake number 2. You're not planning your diet around your life. Side note, yes, sometimes you need to move your life around a bit to accommodate your fitness goals, no doubt. But sometimes in life, we have weddings, we have holidays. There's no way I'm delaying Christmas. And those are periods of your diet I suggest you plan what's called either a maintenance refeed or even a diet break. A refeed can be a few days or more, and a diet break is generally a week or more. The difference in the two is simply the duration and when you do them. And of course, you're eating at maintenance calories. You're not in a deficit for that period of time. So how might this look? Well, you might want to do the diet for the first 2-3 weeks of your 10-week diet, and then you might take a few days to eat at maintenance, optimally when you have these events. You may actually take a few days intermittently a few times during the diet, and if you're experiencing more diet fatigue during the end of the cut, as is to be expected, you may want to hold diet break for a week or so, then simply finish off your diet the last so many weeks as long as you're feeling good. Now, you could also, and some people do, just diet for 2 weeks, take a week off. You could do that for the whole duration. I mean, you technically could diet a week on and then go into maintenance a week. Diet, maintenance, diet, maintenance. You could do it. It's just the more diet breaks that you have, the longer your diet will last. So you want to weigh that as well. You don't want your 10-week diet or 8-week diet to be 20 weeks because you were overdoing the refeeds. There is no one way to do it. The science does not always show it helps you burn more fat. It sometimes does, it sometimes doesn't. The results have been mixed, but there is no doubt these diet breaks are beneficial in a few ways. For one thing, you have more calories to eat at the event or the time you're allocating for the diet break, which is going to make it a lot easier not to screw up your fat loss. 2, eating a bit more will also replenish glycogen stores in your muscles to some degree, depending on how long you're refeeding for. This is obviously going to help you more during a diet break than just the shorter period of time to refeed, but whatever glycogen you can get back in your muscles and help replenish, it's going to help your training. 3, also really important, psychologically. Psychologically, there can be huge benefits to eating a bit more for a few days and then getting back into a deficit. It can kind of recharge you, absolutely. I mean, it also mentally can make you feel like, you can do this if you haven't successfully been able to lose the weight yet. It's kind of like if the weight loss was a marathon, you just reached the first rest point where you can, maybe sit for a few minutes, recharge, have some water. So again, diet breaks and refeeds, make a plan. They're cool. Awesome. This is going well. Diet mistake number 3. You are screwing up your macros and your training and your fat loss because of carbohydrates. I knew Charlie would come around. You mean because carbs are evil, right? They're bad? No, I don't mean that. Because you just don't know how they work and you're not using them to help you burn fat. Yes, help you burn fat. Carbohydrates are your body's preferred source of energy. When you're deciding what to eat on your diet, how much protein, how much fat, how many carbs, the moving factor between your maintenance and your fat loss, and even if you wanted to build muscle after, which is really cool, it should really be predominantly carbohydrate. And what I mean by this is, well, I want around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I'm American, so the metric system to me, I'm pretty sure it was a new wave band from the 80s. The metric system, right? Wasn't that them? I suggest you eat at least 1 gram during fat loss because you want to preserve as much muscle as possible. Remember, it's fat loss, not weight and muscle loss. It can also be possible to build muscle in a fat loss phase. Protein helps, but watch our body recomp episode for more on that. Boop. So fat, how much fat do we need? How much fat should you be eating in your diet? Hey, Big Al, you remember when fat was a cool term? Like, yo, that skateboard's fat. Yeah, I don't really remember it either. That was a long time ago. I'm getting old. So how much fat should you be eating? Well, simply, you should eat, in my opinion, at the very least, enough to be hormonally healthy. This is a health and wellness show. That is a recommended 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Aha! Kilogram. You see what I did there? And you thought good old Charlie couldn't speak European. Heck of a guy. Or it's about 20 to 35% of your total calories. I would also state, if you're not avoiding fat, you're probably getting enough fat to be healthy. However, keep track of what you're eating. Make sure 20 to 35% of your calories are fat. You want to make sure you're hormonally in a good place, especially when you're trying to lose fat. It's very important. On to our friends, the carbohydrates. How many carbs should you be eating? Well, that's easy. The rest. Everything else. Everything you can muster. Eat the rest of your calories that you can eat from carbohydrates. And if you're really, really smart, and I bet you are, put the predominance of them, or at the very least a great amount of them, around your strength training. The better your workouts are, the better your chance of preserving muscle or even hypertrophy, and also the more calories you'll burn during your workout because your workouts will be better. So everything will be better if you do this. They will also assist in your recovery, no doubt as well, if they're around your training. Now, do you need to time these things to 1 hour after your workout on the nose or anything else like that? No, you don't. You don't have to be insane about it. You don't have to take my OCD and apply it to your dietary timing. But I feel comfortable saying the more calorically around your workout, the better it's going to be for you. For me, at least, anecdotally, this has helped my training a boatload. I mean, hugely. More than almost anything else that I've done. The other thing carbs people generally don't understand, this is where kind of the anti-carb, sometimes paleo, carnivore, liver king, anti-fiber movement, they're not pro-fruity pebbles, are they? Sometimes, but not always, can be very misunderstood as well. Carbohydrates make your body retain water, much of which is intracellular in your muscles in the form of glycogen. This is good if you want to have muscles that are full and strong. So when we eat carbs, we store water in our bodies and especially in our muscles. That's why the refeeds and diet breaks are potentially very powerful tools in replenishing our glycogen stores. If you go on a diet, and I'm using quotes, and it's a low carb diet, used quotes again, you need to understand there's a huge folly here, and that you initially will lose water weight when you cut the carbs. And you may be sorely mistaken into thinking it's fat.
These are mistakes for the calorically uninitiated, but we are initiated. Of course.
Bane, I know all about carbohydrates. I can't tell you how many people have gone on low carb diets and a week later I hear it and I'm like waiting for it. And I'm kind of chuckling to myself before the words come out because the person looks excited. And I hear, I'm down 5 pounds. They say it proudly. And yeah, that may be true. You may weigh less, but you didn't lose 5 pounds of fat in a week. How would I know? Well, I can be pretty sure because that would be an extraordinary and unhealthy caloric deficit. You likely didn't cut out almost 18,000 calories in a week. And if you did, you were likely on your way to malnourishment. Also not cool. So the point is, understanding carbohydrates and water is important so you don't think you're losing fat when you're not. This is another reason the same people that lost all the weight initially on the low carb diet, after a week or two, for some reason, the low carb diet isn't working anymore. The weight loss is stalled. They're doomed. Their body just won't lose the weight. Why was I programmed this way? Well, no, you may have a genetic disposition to eat more or respond to hunger signals in a way that makes it harder to lose fat. Absolutely. Genetics are not on your side there. That can be really tough to deal with. And that's part of the reason I love hearing people having success with the GLP-1 antagonists like Mounjaro and Ozempic. But science is science. Calories in, calories out. What happened before was you just depleted your glycogen stores, you lost water weight, and now you may have very little energy to train as well. Not cool. You're also probably feeling miserable and feeling discouraged because why did the fat loss stop? And you shouldn't be. You can definitely do this. You can figure out a caloric deficit while still eating carbs, and it doesn't mean your body's broken or the diet isn't working. It just means water weight is not fat. You can do this. And also, just because I don't do it or encourage it, this doesn't mean you can't lose fat on a low-carb diet successfully. But I personally, in my experience at least, would suggest reserving low-carb diets or even ketogenic diets for two types of people. One, there are people with health issues that necessitate a lower carbohydrate diet. They can absolutely benefit from it. I, of course, am not your doctor. That's a conversation for you and your doctor. If he or she thinks you would benefit from a lower carb diet or even ketosis, that's great. Two, people who don't enjoy eating carbs. If you don't have health problems necessitating a low carb diet and you enjoy eating carbs, I suggest you do and incorporate them into your diet. For me on my cut, I'm still eating 250 grams of carbs a day. It makes up about 45% of my daily calories. Mistake numero cuatro, or mistake number 4 for my friends not as bilingual and fluent in Espanol as Carlos is. Hola, ¿dónde está el baño? Baño, still my favorite member of U2. All right, mistake number 4. You're just eating less on your diet. Wait a minute, I'm on a diet. Of course I need to eat less. I thought you were a sciencey guy, Charlie. What happened to calories in, calories out? Aha, I am a science guy. But I'm also very sneaky. That a Charlie is a sneaky, sneaky guy. You don't necessarily just want to eat less. Do you need to eat fewer calories? Of course you do. Correctamundo. But do you need to eat less volume? Absolutely not. This is where planning, like we talked about earlier, is your best friend. We want low-calorie options and also satiating options that are filling. We want bulk. We want to feel full. Part of the reason salads are great on diets isn't just because they're so nutritious, which they can be. It's also because if you're not covering them in crap, they're likely a lower calorie choice. And all that bulk takes up a lot of space in your stomach. You're going to feel more satiated. A salad is a natural choice. I also like to eat a whole cucumber. Gonna get me in the comments for that one. I peel it or skin it, as Big Al likes to hear me say, and after it's peeled, I chop it up. I eat it with some of that GU's marinade. Awesome low-calorie dressings and marinades. That guy is awesome. If you're okay with eating something processed here and there like I am, again, I have a 90-10 rule, which just means most of the time I eat whole, natural, healthy foods. But sometimes I eat foods that make my life easier, absolutely. I eat microwave popcorn. Smart Pop is awesome. I drink diet soda. Those protein chips I talked about last week, they're delicious and convenient. Are they processed? Yes. Do I eat them all the time? Absolutely not. But on occasion, I will. This is something we talked about on our dieting on vacation episode. Boop. What's cool about this one too, even when you are drinking diet soda, is a lot of times your body is confused and hunger signals are really thirst signals. You might be thirsty, and after you have, let's say, a diet soda, which may also satisfy a sweet craving, you may be feeling good after that. You may be feeling less hungry as well. You know, one of my favorite ways to enjoy something to get me by in between meals is Diet Coke. Caffeine-free, of course. I reserve my caffeine for café. Or for my Spanish-speaking friends, soy un café baraco. That means, what does that mean again? I probably should have paid more attention in Spanish class, or at least gone to Spanish class. Yeah, guys, dieting is about getting more volume for less calories. What does this look like for me? Well, there's a cereal I enjoy called 7 Sundays. It's a cassava cereal. It's delicious. I use it as a pre-workout and a post-workout carb. But because it has a good amount of fat in it, it's certainly not low in calories. So what am I doing during my cut? I am mixing that cereal with another wheat cereal I love, Farina. It's delicious. It's lower in calories. Am I eating less food, less volume? No, I am not. Am I eating different foods? Yes, I am. You can do this too. Don't just eat less. Make better choices and continue to incorporate foods you guys love. Diet mistake number 5, guys. Last one. Too much cardio. This is one of the biggest ways that people really hurt their diets. I walk for 30 minutes a day, every day. It's good for my health. I enjoy it. It's nice to get outside or even on the treadmill for a bit. I tune out, I'm watching the TV or listening to music. It's cool. Guess how much I am walking on my cut right now? I am trying to lose fat. I am walking for 30 minutes a day. Faster on a steeper incline with, holding the kids with a 30,000 pound vest on me? No, none of that. If you add all this cardio in right off the bat, not only do you have nowhere to go, but once you are done with your fat loss phase, you will have to keep up all of that cardio when you go into maintenance, or you're not going to be eating as much as you could be in maintenance. You're not a bodybuilder training for a show that once the show is over, you're going to want to gain a bunch of weight back. And if you are, that's cool too. Don't do an unnecessary amount of exercise for the task at hand. Back to what I just alluded to, if you start off the bat with 2 hours of cardio a day on your new fat loss phase, where do you go from there when your fat loss stalls? 3 hours of cardio a day? Don't add more cardio than you intend to continue to do when your fat loss phase is over. This is the same reason you want to aim to lose, 1 to 2% of your body weight weekly, something reasonable. Could you try and lose more? I suppose you could, but you're going to have a much harder time dieting. Diet fatigue is going to kick in and you're going to experience it a lot faster. And when your fat loss stalls, and it will, then you will have nowhere to go. And this is another great reason why some people do benefit from reverse diets so much. They've calorically messed themselves up. They've limited themselves for so long, like into oblivion, they got to recharge that metabolism a little bit. So the same way you want to be keeping your caloric deficit as small as possible to meet your fat loss goals, you'll also want to keep excessive cardio to a minimum. If you're training for something, this is different, that's cool, but you probably just want to lose some weight because you want to lose some weight. Also important to note, guys, when fat loss stalls, and it almost always does, it always presents you with 3 choices. 1, cut more calories, eat less, add more activity, i.e. some of that cardio I was encouraging you not to do too much of. The 3rd choice is stop the diet. So make sure you guys are leaving yourself options when this happens by not exhausting them from the get-go. All right, guys and gals, I hope this was a helpful segment. I hope it helps you meet your goals. Let me know about your fat loss adventures in the comments. Let me know about your goals. I love hearing from you guys. What's giving you the most trouble in your fat loss right now? Or have you got this thing figured out? Did I help at all? All right, next up, we're talking the best supplements for women's muscle growth. All right, ladies, let's go! We're directing this segment towards the women today, the ladies, because it's frankly much more accepted and kind of common sense today. Of course, women want to build muscle. It's not just for men. That stuff is nuts. There was a time when the ideal look for a woman was like she didn't eat food and looked like she was strung out on something. At least that was the heroin chic of the 90s and maybe early 2000s, I don't know. And I absolutely love that this thing seems to be dying because it wasn't healthy then, it wasn't particularly attractive, and I think it really sucked for women who wanted to, be athletic or fit or active or healthy or eat food, stuff like that. My wife, my daughter, my mother, my sister, I wouldn't want any of them to have to deal with that. So this is all about the best supplements women can take to help build muscle. These are the things I recommend to my wife. She just had the baby. She looks fantastic 4 months after. So first we start with, as always, the caffeinated Y. And we actually have 2 caffeinated Ys today. The first Y is, why is muscle building so important, and for women in particular? 1, more muscle equals a higher metabolic rate, meaning you burn more calories at rest, meaning you can eat more and maintain your weight. Now, women are generally smaller than men, and for this reason, adding muscle can allow you to eat more without compromising your figure or your health. Cool. Number 2, specifically for women as well, bone density. This is a huge one for the ladies. And women, as you age, your risk for osteoporosis, especially around menopause, it goes up significantly. So that could result in some really bad stuff, some bad injuries, so on and so forth, if not managed and combated as well. Number 3, strength training helps prevent chronic disease, which is also very important for women as they age. Heart disease, all that stuff you don't want. Lifting weights lowers your risk for those health conditions. And lastly, number 4, everyone looks more badass with biceps. Women are no exception. So those are just a few reasons why building muscle is important, especially for women. So second why then are supplements potentially important for women as well when it comes to building muscle? Why not just eat everything you need? That sounds healthy. Well, you could, but there are caloric limitations, there are lifestyle limitations, and frankly, some of the things we're going to talk about to get an effective dose of, you would need to eat a tremendous amount of a single food that you might not even enjoy. Taking supplements, certain supplements, just makes it a heck of a lot easier, and they're all for the most part really safe. Of course, you talk to your doctor first before you do anything. Always be your own best advocate. All right, so supplement number 1, surprise, surprise, it's whey protein. Why is whey protein the first one I recommend for women? Well, it's a great supplement for men too. I supplement it every day. But like I alluded to earlier, women in general are smaller. In general, please don't cancel me. Don't let them cancel me, Big Al. Women in general are smaller than men, meaning you can't eat as much as a man in maintenance, and especially if you're in a fat loss phase, you're really much more calorically limited, potentially, than a man is. So you have less calories to pull from. Well, what if I just eat all that protein from lean meats and fish and dairy and all that stuff? Isn't that good too? No, it's actually even better. But whey protein, or even a whey casein blend to some degree, depending on when you're having it and the goal, there are very low options calorically that you can buy. If you love eating protein, awesome, eat away. But if you want to be able to get more carbs or even fat in your diet, especially the carbs to fuel training and recovery, that may benefit you so much more in a fat loss phase. This can be a fantastic way to get the protein in while expending fewer calories on them and leaving more calories for other foods you enjoy. So should you get all your protein from a supplement? Of course not. Protein in itself is extremely satiating. It's delicious. There are a lot of other benefits from it. Not to mention, protein powders by design are processed. Even still healthy and minimally processed, they're processed. So my advice would be, get yourself a good protein supplement you enjoy, a good powder, and if it helps you meet your protein goals for the day, while leaving you a few extra calories to play with for kind of the things you enjoy, awesome, I love it. That's why I recommend it. Also good to keep in mind, if you're grabbing a protein bar in lieu of a powder, watch the added sugar, watch the calories, etc. They can pack a lot in there to get it to taste just like a Snickers. I would love a Snickers right now. When's Halloween? Let's eat all the kids' candy this year. All right, number 2 supplement for women, taurine. We did a whole segment on taurine on the show. You check it out. Boop. Taurine is one of the most abundantly found amino acids in the body. It's a conditionally essential amino acid. When your body's most stressed, when you're feeling run down, that's when the requirement for taurine goes up. This may also apply to training and your muscle building sessions as well. As taurine delays time to exhaustion, if you're aerobically giving out before your muscles are, especially like if your strength training is leaving you a little winded, this could help. There are anaerobic benefits as well. Taurine has been shown to increase strength and power. This is a big reason it's featured in energy drinks and pre-workouts that people take prior to their workouts. If taurine allows you to train harder and lift more, you're going to build more muscle. Now, it's found in sources like meat and shellfish as well. My guess would be the less of those things you're eating, the more benefit you may get from supplementing taurine. I generally also don't recommend you take energy drinks. I don't recommend most pre-workouts as well. There can be a lot of extra crap in there. If you're going to take one, just make sure you understand what the ingredients are and they're safe for you. Who knows? Maybe I'll find one that's really terrific and I'll promote it on the show. For now, I would just supplement the taurine. My favorite pre-workout is also the next supplement I recommend for women regarding muscle building. Caffeine! I'm talking about a cup of Joe or 2 before training. Why? Well, it reduces fatigue, it improves muscle efficiency, it gives you energy for your training. Well, it's silly, right? You probably drink coffee already, but drinking it closer to your workout, understanding the benefit, as long as you're not training super late at night, I imagine, coffee can help a lot. Caffeine also, when taken in safe doses, don't overdo it. It can also help with mental alertness, overall heart health, and believe it or not, your overall risk of death goes down significantly if you're a coffee drinker. We just did a whole episode on coffee. Check that out if you want to learn more about it. So when it's used safely, it can definitely help your performance. This is kind of known and tried and true for a while. Take advantage of it. Too much caffeine or coffee, as you know, you can have anxiety, palpitations, it can interfere with your sleep. Baby's just starting to let mommy and daddy sleep again. All right. Me personally, coffee and taurine are my favorite pre-workout. I don't take caffeine in supplement form though. I drink it because it's delicious. It's actually the most delicious supplement I take. All right, the number 4 supplement for women wanting to build muscle, essential amino acids or EAAs. This one is a little controversial, gentle in the comments, as the science has not always been stellar and plenty of folks have tried to sell you their BCAAs, different supplements over the years. And while I do not recommend BCAAs or branched chain amino acid supplements, essential amino acid supplements used during your workout may help your performance in the gym. This is particularly true if you're someone that trains fasted. Perhaps you train first thing in the morning, you don't feel good when you train. You maybe feel nauseous. Some people do. Also, if you're having trouble meeting your protein goal for the day, this can help. Full disclosure, if you're maximizing your protein needs, no amino supplement BCAA or EAA appears to help very much. But again, if at the end of the day you realize, hey, I could have had some more protein, and you're someone who, again, you could be training fasted, this can potentially help muscle protein synthesis. Essential amino acids are the building blocks of muscle tissue, and they help maintain the muscle we already have and grow new muscle as well. During muscle building, very, very important. During fat loss, maybe even more important. You don't want to lose that muscle you work so hard for. EAAs can help get your muscles extra fuel, which can reduce fatigue and increase short-term recovery. They can also help improve endurance or even your aerobic needs when it comes to training, like we spoke about a little earlier. Maybe certain exercises leave you winded, I don't know. All in all, exercise performance, it can be improved with EAAs. It just won't necessarily. This is kind of an individual thing. After your workout, it also seems it may reduce muscle soreness as well, hopefully allowing you to train again sooner and hopefully build more muscle. The essential aminos can help your performance in the gym, help combat fatigue, and potentially get you back in the gym sooner as well. When it comes to supplementing these, a lot of people will use them as an intra-workout drink. I actually do. I don't know how effective that is, but it seems to make more sense to me again if you're training fasted. I would also say if your workouts aren't very intense and you're not training for close to an hour or more, which I do, you may not need intra-workout to begin with. So that's not always necessary. This could be a helpful one, but it's not always necessary. The last supplement for the ladies today, and not a controversial one at all, number 5, creatine. This is kind of the holy grail of supplements, guys. What is creatine? Well, creatine is a compound that comes from amino acids. It's found in foods like beef, pork, and fish. It's often found in meat sources, so you will naturally be getting more in your diet if you're consuming meat sources versus if you were a vegan or a vegetarian. That's cool if you are, though. Creatine supplements are almost always vegan. But even if you are eating meat as well, creatine supplementation is a great idea for almost everyone, because to get a necessary amount every day to see performance improvement, you'd have to eat an enormous amount of meat, which you may want to do, you may not want to do. I would just supplement the creatine, eat meat when you want. Creatine pulls water where it goes. It basically saturates. It's hydrating your muscles with what's called phosphocreatine. Now, phosphocreatine creates ATP. And the reason creatine is consumed as regularly as it is by athletes, it might be the top supplement among athletes, is it helps create energy in your body during high intense exercise with, you guessed it, ATP. Now, ATP is our body's source of energy for our muscles. When ATP turns into ADP during exercise, what creatine does is it basically turns the ADP back into ATP. It's like it's recharging it and helping you have a steadier supply of energy throughout your performance. The more creatine in your body, the more energy you have, the more explosiveness you may have as well. Creatine also has been found to be very beneficial to the brain in recent studies. We'll get you all those in the show notes as well. Also, the water retention you may have heard about, you may be fearing with creatine, it is mostly intracellular, meaning it's in your muscles. It's where you want it. It's not necessarily under your skin. Your weight may go up slightly with creatine, but that's a good thing. It doesn't mean you gained any fat. It means more water, more glycogen. Hopefully that translates to more strength and better performance. And this is another reason you don't really want to rely solely on the scale, in my opinion. You can check out the creatine episode for more on that. You don't want to mistake some intracellular water retention for fat gain. So it's a great supplement for women to take to build muscle, have more energy, and have more explosive workouts. Not to mention, keeping yourself thinking clearer and supporting your brain health as well. There was also a study published in 2021 in Nutrients regarding women and creatine, showing improvements in strength, performance, cognition, and even bone mineral density, like we spoke about earlier. So that's another great thing for women to be aware of as they age. Get some creatine in you, ladies. Could help with those bones. All right, all. I hope this helps you females in your muscle building journey. These are the 5 supplements I believe may be most beneficial in your muscle building adventures. If you're looking to start somewhere, protein and creatine are never a bad place to start. The others may be helpful as well. Let me know in the comments. What are you women supplementing or not supplementing? What's helping you the most from this list? I want to hear from you. All right, what are we talking about next here? Someone read me a cue card or something. Culture and the arts. What the heck is that? Well, we talk about culture and the arts in the show because your health is more than what you look like. It's how you feel. So we try to give you something new to be energized and excited and kind of, something to look forward to every week. This week, it's a movie. A movie maybe you want to look forward to. Maybe you saw it already. Maybe this segment will make you want to see it again. Who knows? So today on Culture and the Arts, we're talking Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's go. All right. I finally got to see this Merry Mutant Mayhem last week. I was definitely waiting for this movie for a while. This review will contain some spoilers, but if you care, you probably saw it already. And if you don't care so much, then there you go. Listen up. So this was a lot of fun. It's a lot of cursing. It was actually an enormous amount of profanity and also fun. So the movie is directed by Sean Levy. And in the movie, Deadpool, after kind of not being wanted as an Avenger, he pretty much retires from being the merc with the mouth. He's not a mercenary anymore. He's selling used cars. I would never want to do that. His life doesn't necessarily have the meaning he wants. And then kind of out of nowhere, the TVA, or Time Variance Authority, they find significance in him and they need him. As he says in the movie, I am Marvel Jesus. He needs to save his timeline because Wolverine dies in it. And rather than just jumping into another time where he does have significance, he decides instead to do his own thing and he recruits a Wolverine to save his own timeline. It's cool. There's claws and blood and guts and fighting with guns. So Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. I think this was the role Ryan Reynolds was always meant to play. It's just perfect. He is Deadpool. I kind of feel like he's Deadpool in real life too, minus the hideous scarring, tremendous martial arts prowess, artillery, and mutant powers. Deadpool is hilarious in this movie. He takes multiple jabs at Fox, Deadpool's prior film rights owner, as Deadpool and Wolverine pretty much kill a whole lot of that universe too. He also takes quite a few shots at Disney here. They're also equally hilarious. I also think Deadpool breaking the fourth wall and speaking to the audience might be some of the best parts of this movie. All right, Wolverine, Logan, Hugh Jackman. What the heck can I say? He's also very funny in this movie. I'm wondering, as I don't have a count here, he may even curse more than Deadpool does in the movie. I am so glad Logan was not the last time we got to see Hugh Jackman suit up as Wolverine in this multiverse, mostly because he finally wears the yellow costume. And spoiler alert, I won't be doing that for every spoiler. This is a spoiler-filled review, but he wears the friggin' mask. He looks cool. The costume looks so cool. It really works on screen. The mask really works on screen. There's actually some awesome backstory to it too. As he says, Scott, or Cyclops, always wanted him to wear it, but he always refused. And now, since he kind of let all the X-Men down and they're all dead, he now wears it in honor of them, which is pretty nice. The suit's great, and the few scenes where Wolverine is wearing the mask, they're no joke. I mean, us Marvel fans waited for like 20 years to see Logan in the mask. It's awesome. Speaking of the things that are freaking awesome in the movie, can we also talk about the kind of shape Hugh Jackman is in at 55? I mean, most 25-year-olds don't look like this guy. He looks absolutely incredible. He actually looks so good, they had to keep making a joke out of it in the movie. The dude, especially shirtless in the last scene. Damn, girl. So Deadpool and Wolverine go on a parade through the Marvel Universe. They kill a whole lot of people. Sabretooth does not last very long, I'm afraid. They end up in a spot called the Void, which is kind of where the TVA sends the rejected versions of characters they don't really want, or at least characters they think shouldn't exist anymore. I don't know. It gets confusing with this multiverse stuff. They end up having to deal with one of the movie's villains there, Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova, who basically rules the Void, she's the HNIC, the head new character in charge. What did you think I was going to say? Ugh. That's terrible. Cassandra Nova was Professor X's sister in the books that he didn't even know existed, and they basically go through the movie trying to save and avenge, see what I did there? Trying to save and avenge their respective universes. That's what Deadpool and Wolverine do. Cameos. Now you're really going to want to turn it off if you don't want to be spoiled. The best cameo, and the post-credit scenes target as well, is Chris Evans as Captain America. Nope. It looks like we're getting a version of Captain America in the Void. And then lo and behold, Chris Evans is actually the Human Torch, who he played in the Fox Fantastic Four movies. He don't do so well in this movie. Flame on! More like flame off, unfortunately. His scenes and the post-credit scene with him is really, really funny. We have some faces we recognize with Cassandra Nova, like Pyro, Azazel, Toad, even that huge Russian guy that Kevin Nash played in The Punisher, when I think Thomas Jane actually stabbed him with a prop knife that had the magical ability to function like a real knife. Huh, maybe it was just a real knife. And then we also have a resistance fighting against Cassandra Nova's tyranny. We have Jennifer Garner, still looking great as Elektra. Would be cool if they did some more with her in the future. Wesley Snipes is Blade again. He's pretty cool in this movie. I enjoyed seeing him. I enjoyed the Blade movies. I actually think they were some of Fox's best Marvel movies. And then we have Channing Tatum as Remy LeBeau, the Gambit himself. My dream role, my favorite X-Man. Channing, this has been a dream for him for years. He pushed to play Gambit for many years through troubles. His Gambit movie never got made, but he gets to play him here. My only critique of him as Gambit isn't the performance, really. It's great. It's funny. It's really funny. It's a little more profanity than I expected from Gambit, but hilarious. I just wish the suit had fit him a little better. It was comic book accurate, though. The fight scenes with him were awesome. The cards, the staff, all that stuff. I love that. There's also quite a few digs at his movie never getting made also. I think one in particular is he says, they call me the Gambit. And Deadpool's like, do they call you that? Or do you just want them to call you that? Kind of like, are you Gambit or did you just want to be? It's really cool. It's very funny. Marvel, when you're looking to recast Gambit, I will try to be available. Lastly, Daphne Keane plays X-23 in the movie. She reprises the role from Logan again. She's very good, and her scenes with Logan are very sweet indeed, very meaningful. She might have been the heart of the movie. So where does the movie stand in terms of Marvel movies in my eyes? How significant was it? Was it worth the wait? How good was it? Well, it's definitely worth the wait. It was a lot of fun. And honestly, it's the best movie I think they've made in a while. It is very funny, very, very funny. It's extremely entertaining, and it gives the fans a whole lot of what they've wanted for a whole lot of years, which says a lot. There's a ton of tongue-in-cheek. There's a ton of nods to the fans, a lot of Easter eggs too. I mean, Wolverine puts the mask on and it kills like 500 Deadpools. It's great. Let's go. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments though. Deadpool, Wolverine. What was your favorite part? Did you like it? Meh. I want to hear from you guys. All right, now we're going to bring it back to health and wellness. Let's get to the kitchen and work on your inflammation. Over to you, Charlie.
All right, guys, welcome to the Caffeinated Kitchen. By popular demand, I am not just in the studio now. I am cooking with you guys in the kitchen. We're kind of formulating a recipe today. We're not quite cooking, but what we're doing is we're making anti-inflammatory wellness shots that are also going to have some huge immune boosting benefits for you. First, let's talk about the ingredients and what you'll need, and we'll also talk about what these ingredients do. There's going to be a base first. The basis of our wellness shot is going to be 2 lemons, 1 orange, 1 apple. And the idea is, this is really the immune boosting antioxidant effect of it. So that's the base of it. It's also going to give it some sweetness and make it taste nice when you drink it. The second part of it is the really anti-inflammatory part. That's where we're going to get the celery stalks, 3 of them. We're going to get a nice piece of ginger. I love ginger, so I use a lot of it. We're going to get some turmeric as well. And then lastly, we're going to add apple cider vinegar. We did a whole controversial segment on apple cider vinegar. I like it. I think the acetic acid does some really good things for people, especially diabetics, but in general, the blood sugar regulation seems to be a good part of this. So that second part isn't going to be just about anti-inflammation, but there's also going to be some blood sugar regulating benefits as well. So let's see what else we're going to need for the recipe. We are going to need a NutriBullet or some kind of a mixer to mix this thing up. Going to need a big old bowl to pour it on into. And then if you're like me, I'm gonna use a strainer. I'm gonna use a strainer here and a ladle for it. You can use a cheesecloth too or something like that, that's fine. I'll start with the orange first. Now what I'm doing is, I am getting rid of as much rind as I can just to get more in there. But it's totally okay if you get some rind in because you're going to be straining this thing. This is one of the few recipes you make where you're getting rid of a lot of insoluble fiber because you're straining it. But for the purposes of this, the anti-inflammatory benefits, the immune boosting benefits, even the blood sugar stuff, you know, you don't really, this isn't about fiber right now. This is about some other things. So we got our orange in there. I sliced it into quarters. Same deal with the apple, just to make it simple for yourself. I don't even peel the apple. I do like to eat it though. Oh, good apple. So the reason I'm kind of cubing the apple to the best of my ability, I just want to fit as much as I can into the NutriBullet. How big do you cut it? Well, cut it as big as you need to fit as much as you want. All right, next up, our lemons, same deal. I'm gonna do my very best to get as much rind off as I can. I'm actually doing a pretty good job with this one. This is a really cool Dal Strong cutting board that I'm using. It's so funny because so many of you guys were messaging me. We love the recipes, but you need to do them with us in the kitchen. And to be honest with you, I didn't think as many people would be watching the show as listening to it. So initially, I'm just like, I'm gonna give everyone a healthy recipe every week that I really love, that I enjoy, that might help people. And then I realized much more people were watching it than listening to it, even on like Spotify. So I realized I had to make a change. So here we are. All right, 2 lemons in. This is our vitamin C antioxidant immune boosting base. This is fantastic all the time. I feel fantastic when I drink this thing. It's just really good. If you haven't tried it, you're gonna make it once, you're gonna make it all the time. The next thing we're gonna focus on is the real anti-inflammatory part of this. We had a huge anti-inflammation video a few weeks ago, and this is kind of in the spirit of that. So we're gonna go back to some old recipes too and kind of make it so you guys can see me make it. Not that you need such a tutorial on how to peel ginger, but hey, here I am, we're doing it together, right? I'm gonna peel this to the best of my ability. If it's not perfect, you're gonna catch the rind. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of some of the crap, but I'm not gonna go crazy. This is an awesome piece of ginger. Whoops, ginger down. Looks pretty good. All right, cool. I'm prioritizing the ginger over the other two because I love ginger. There's so many health benefits of ginger. Usually my Saturday night meal is my sushi meal, my tuna and all that, my sashimi and my rolls. I cover my sushi in ginger and a lot of wasabi too. And it's next up, we're gonna go for some of this turmeric. It's like little mini cute carrots that look like, I don't know, almost like sandworms from Beetlejuice. I actually supplement turmeric every day aside from this because I feel a huge difference in my joints. So hopefully this helps you too. Last thing we're gonna add is celery, which is also a terrific anti-inflammatory. There are some studies showing anti-inflammatory benefits with celery, not just in your joints, but your brain as well, which I don't want to have an inflamed brain. The celery, I'm actually chopping up extra small here. There's definitely a chef right now watching me do this. Like he's gonna lose a finger, this guy. Now, apple cider vinegar, again, controversial, sure, but the acetic acid I believe is really good, especially regulating blood glucose, blood sugar levels, especially when you're dieting and you're in a cut. If you can get a little bit of an edge in terms of keeping your blood sugar stable, keeps your mind clear, reduces cravings, it's a good idea. I'm gonna add a whole lot of this. I filled it about to the halfway line with the vinegar. The rest of it, I'm actually gonna use water. This is what it looks like at the moment. It's like a delicious health cocktail. So really simply, mix it up till you think it's mixed up. All right, looks good to me. Looks like a, oh my God. Could you imagine if I couldn't open it? You know, all those curls and I can't open the NutriBullet. Looks like it's like a delicious carrot juicy looking, but vitamin C sweet smelling drink right now. But of course, there is a ton of soluble and insoluble fiber in there right now. And we really want to make this a wellness shot, not a drink. I think if you're going for a drink, you want a lot of fiber in it, but because this is a quick shot, you want all the antioxidant, immune boosting, anti-inflammatory benefits right in that concentrated little guy. So that's what we're gonna do. I've heard people use cheesecloth. I don't even know what a cheesecloth is, but I'm sure I'll use one eventually, one of these days. For now, I am going to use a strainer because it's easy, I know how to do it. And I suggest you pour some of it at a time. You can see already, it's kind of doing the job for you. Drinking the Diet Coke today, caffeine free. We save our caffeine for our coffee. So what I like to do is just move it around. You don't have to do that much work with this. This mixture here, nutrient-laden, fiber-dense mixture, you can use this as a topping like on fish and stuff like that. You can make dressings out of this. Smart maneuver I suggest you make before I go into the good old mason jar, which I love mason jars. You probably see me drinking from in the show. I'm gonna pour it into the Pyrex first. Look at that. Can't make that up. Pour a little out. All right, we're going into the mason jar, guys. Little technical difficulty. Nothing I can't handle. Anti-inflammatory, immune-boosting, antioxidant-loaded wellness shot. This is fantastic. Shot glass, let's try it out. All right. Hot damn. That is really, really good. That is the first recipe of the day we've done in real time. I'm gonna keep cooking stuff with you guys, mixing, we're gonna be air frying, ninja creamying. Let me know what you guys think of this. Try this. If you're dealing with inflammation, give this a shot. I think you're gonna love it. And I think that's our show for today.
All right, guys, that is our show for today. Next week, we're going to go even deeper into the stuff we care about, even more health, wellness, nutrition, art, and culture. We're going to talk supplements. There are some that can help you build muscle and burn fat, others that only burn through your wallet. We've got sleep studies, intermittent fasting, longevity studies. I'm talking medicine 3.0, big T's there. This is your one-stop magazine for all of it because this is the droid you've been looking for. And I'm saying it again, I love saying it. Health and wellness, it's not just how you look, it's how you feel. It's excitement, it's vigor for life, it's quality of life. It's not just being your best, but feeling your best. I'm into that stuff, you're into it too. This is where we meet, we get together, we have coffee, we talk. So please, like, subscribe, comment if the platform you're listening on allows. Let me know what else you want to hear about. Leave a review if you can, it means a lot to me. And heck, at the very least, subscribing will alert you when episode 13 comes out. Maybe we'll release it on a Friday. And always, lastly, and most importantly, please know you are appreciated. I appreciate you. I got you. And thank you so much. I'm Charlie. I'll see you next time.